Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Christiansted and Frederickstead, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, Water Island. Good afternoon to the world. And good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Children of the Sun radio program. Positive and uplifting talk radio from the fifth dimension. And a wide-ranging exploration of the new consciousness in the St. Croix community, broadcasting live from the turquoise waters of St. Croix on WSTX, the soul of the Caribbean, on 970 AM, amplitude modulated. It's 12:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, Friday, the 20th day of February, 2026. I'm your host, Ray Bratcher. I give sacred breathwork sessions here on St. Croix and around the world. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Today, we're going to be initiating a special project here on Children of the Sun, because these are special times. These are not ordinary times, as we all know. And I know a lot of us are tired. A lot of us are feeling overwhelmed. And it may seem like the times are dark and there's nothing we can do. But what you need to know is they want you feeling like that. The system is designed intentionally to keep you feeling like that. Tired, out of time, overwhelmed, and apathetic. They want you to give up preemptively at the beginning, before you even start. So they don't have to do anything while you just roll over on your back like a puppy. And you know why that is? It's because they know that you have all the power. And they are afraid of you, afraid the day will come when you realize you have all the power. So they do everything in their power to keep you too tired and overwhelmed to realize it. But there is a shift happening right now that is lifting the veils and exposing everything. With the release of the Epstein files, we are finding out that we are ruled by a fascist cabal of pedophiles who sex traffic, murder, blackmail, and practice torture, cannibalism, and ritual murder, and who do not think of us as human beings. According to the United Nations Human Rights Council, quote, the large-scale disclosure of materials known as the Epstein files has revealed, quote, disturbing and credible evidence, end quote, of what independent human rights experts describe as a possible global criminal enterprise that may reasonably meet the legal threshold of crimes against humanity. The files also reveal, according to other experts, that this cabal has, quote, had an outsized influence on world affairs for at least the last 20 years. Now that they have been revealed, the question is, will you let them continue to rule over you, or will you reclaim your power and take your island, your country, and your world back? With the Epstein revelations and the collapse of the MAGA cult, there is a yearning for normalcy. People are tired, and they just want things to go back to normal, back to the way things were. But we can't go back to normal. Normal is what got us here. The way things were was a global socio-economic order set up by the cabal of fascist billionaires to manipulate us slowly and gradually into accepting a new kind of slavery. So we can't go back to the way things were. We can't go back to the old order. The old order cannot be fixed. The old order cannot be saved, improved, tweaked, rehabilitated, repaired, fixed, or restored. The old order is insane. It must be abandoned. Babylon must fall. Now, as pioneers of the new consciousness, which is what you are since you're listening to this show, as pioneers of the new consciousness, we know that what we focus our attention on is what we give energy to and help manifest. So the question is, what do we want to manifest? What positive thing do we want to focus our energy on? Do we want to focus our energy on Trump and MAGA and the billionaire fascist pedophile cabal? Do we want to give energy to the racists and bigots who don't even consider us human beings? Do we want to focus our energy on getting back to normal? We cannot go back. We must go forward. Forward to the next step in the progress of the American experiment. That's where we need to focus our attention, awareness, and energy, if that's what we want to manifest. This is a critical juncture, and it is important that we transition it correctly. We need to be on guard against the rising of the demagogue, someone who uses this moment for his or her own personal power. Otherwise, we could find ourselves in that song by The Who, Meet the New Boss, same as the old boss. And in order to have a better understanding of where we are, it helps to know how we got here. That all lays the groundwork for how we go forward. And I recently came across something on Substack that I found personally very helpful in all of this, and I want to share it with all of you. It's from Mike Brock and his Notes from the Circus Substack, and it is a series modeled after Thomas Paine's Revolutionary War writings. You're probably familiar with Paine's famous opening lines. These are the times that try men's souls. The Sunshine Patriot and the Summer Soldier. That was the first pamphlet Paine wrote, and it's credited with saving the American Revolution, as George Washington had it read to his dispirited and demoralized troops. Paine went on to write another 16 pamphlets called The American Crises, and Mike Brock has written his 17 pamphlets entitled simply The Crisis. So, for our special project, I'd like to share these with you. We begin with the crisis number 1. The crisis number 1, on the lie that nothing can be done. These are the times that try men's souls. I take these words from Thomas Paine, who wrote them in December of 1776, when the Revolution was dying. Washington's army had been routed. Men were deserting by the hundreds. Enlistments would expire on the 1st of January, and most of what remained of the Continental Army would simply go home. The British were confident the rebellion would be crushed by spring. Many Americans agreed with them. Paine had been marching with the troops. He had seen the hopelessness in their faces, and somewhere along the frozen roads of New Jersey, legend says by campfire light, using a drumhead as a desk, he wrote the words that would keep them fighting. Quote, "The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph." End quote. Washington ordered the pamphlet read aloud to his troops on December 23rd. 2 days later, they crossed the Delaware and took Trenton. The Revolution survived. I am not Thomas Paine. I am a former technology executive who writes a newsletter. I claim no special authority, no military experience, no credentials beyond citizenship itself. But Paine was a corset maker before he was a pamphleteer. The Revolution was not saved by credentialed men. It was saved by people who decided to speak when speaking was dangerous, and to stay when staying was hard. I take his title because someone must, and because the times demand it. 249 years later, the American Republic faces a crisis of a different kind. There is no foreign army on our soil. The threat comes from within, from an executive branch that has declared war on the constitutional order, from a legislature that lies supine before it, from a judiciary whose orders are ignored, and from a class of wealthy men who have purchased the government and now demand that the rest of us show gratitude for their tyranny. In Minneapolis, 3,000 federal agents occupy an American city. They wear masks. They operate without meaningful oversight. They have killed 2 citizens in less than 3 weeks. They have tear-gassed crowds, including children. They have refused to let local police secure crime scenes. When a police chief insisted on preserving evidence, they tried to order him away. The Attorney General of the United States has sent a letter to Minnesota officials. ICE will leave if the state turns over its voter database. This is not immigration enforcement. This is extortion. This is the use of state violence to seize control of elections in a swing state. This is the thing itself, undisguised, in plain sight. And yet I am told that I, as a single human being, cannot do anything about it. I am told that those who can act will not. I am told that it does not matter that there is a constitution, or laws, or any of the structures we were promised would protect us. This is the voice of despair. I understand it. I have felt it myself in the small hours of the night when the news is unrelenting and the powerful seem untouchable. It is not stupidity. It is the rational response to watching institutions fail over and over, while the people charged with defending them issue statements of concern and do nothing. But the logic of despair is backwards. It waits for the system to fix itself before participating. The system does not fix itself. It never has. The system is made of people. It only works when citizens make it work. This is what Paine understood and what we have forgotten. The Constitution is a piece of paper. The laws are words. The institutions are buildings, procedures, and norms. None of it has any force whatsoever unless the people insist on it. The Republic does not keep itself. It is kept, or it is lost, by the choices of citizens who decide whether to demand that its principles be honored. Benjamin Franklin, leaving the Constitutional Convention in 1787, was asked what kind of government the delegates had created. "A republic," he said, "if you can keep it." Not if it keeps itself, if you keep it. The verb is active. The subject is the citizen. The keeping is not a spectator sport. In Minneapolis now, 50,000 people marched through sub-zero temperatures to demand that federal agents leave their city. Businesses closed in solidarity. Protesters fill the streets every day, facing tear gas and the threat of arrest. They are not waiting for someone else. They are not asking what a single human being can do. They are doing it. That is what keeping looks like. That is citizenship in action. That is the answer to despair. Paine did not only inspire, he also shamed. He called out the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot, the people who supported the revolution when it was fashionable, who melted away when it became difficult. He understood that the cause needed not just encouragement, but accountability, that some people would only act if they feared the judgment of their neighbors and of history. We have summer soldiers among us now. They are the tech executives who post about AI and tariffs while federal agents execute civilians in the streets. They are the heterodox intellectuals who spent years warning about wokeness and now cannot bring themselves to speak clearly about fascism. They are the anti-Trump commentators who built careers on the proposition that the real danger was always somewhere else, and who now must reckon with what their misdirection enabled. They are the members of Congress who know what is happening and do nothing, who have the power to impeach, to investigate, to defund, to obstruct, and who instead issue statements and schedule hearings and wait for the next election, as if elections can be trusted when the executive is demanding voter databases at gunpoint. They are all of us every time we look away, every time we tell ourselves it is not our problem, every time we wait for someone else to act. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. History will remember who stood and who shrank. I do not call for revolution. The revolution already happened 250 years ago. What I call for is the defense of what that revolution created.